Brewdog Upminster does British live sport, so if you have the class and they do come in. And they're hosting us tonight for an evening with Jimmy Walker and Paul Konchesky. We're gonna go through. Has everyone got any raffle tickets before we start? Has everyone got raffle tickets? No one wants any raffle tickets. We've done all that, mate. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Top prize is an FA Cup final shirt signed by the two goal scorers. Really try to get the third one, but I had to want to flare that before you give it to me. You know, going to go through it for about an hour this evening, then we're going to come round to the audience and I'm going to be speaking to you and you're going to be asking the questions. So get ready, get your questions ready for the second half and I'll be talking to you. So don't be shy, get ready and put your hands up when you're ready.
Do you know what though, just before we bring the boys up, like, we're going to, obviously last night we've got to mention it, this season has been fucking terrible. So we're going to get it out of the way now because what we're going to do, fuck Tottenham off, because we won the proper European Cup. There's a reason why they put it first, and then it's the conference, and then the Champions League final.
Do you know what though, saying that? Their final was nothing compared to ours. Did anyone watch that final last night? It was one of the worst finals I've ever seen in my life. It looked like 16 versus 17 in the league, didn't it? Yeah.
They are going to beat us to a record actually, being the lowest finish to win a European Cup.
There we go, there's it go. But when we play bubbles then...
But so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to forget about last night, fuck Tottenham, fuck this season off, we're going to remember the good times with Ginny and Conch, and we're going to have a good laugh.
Hang on, play the Tottenham.
Jimmy did make an appearance, Conch, what, 14, 15 appearances?
He's done alright.
Nah, Jimmy didn't.
So they might be celebrating today, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Should we get up? Jim, Paul, come and join us.
Come and join us.
Come and join us.
Fantastic stories coming up.
Watch the books, 20 quid. There's 60 quid on the front of that table there, Jim. Watch the books, mate, come on. There's all the stories in there that I can't say tonight.
Right, because, while you're up here, because they did win the fucking cup last night, we're going to play around the bubble, but we're going to see it extra fucking special because there's going to be some parts of it that are fucking, we're going to be listening to you. So just let them know, the Winners are here, yeah? Let them know, fucking Winners, that we're fucking 15th in the league and not 17th, yeah? You fucking tell them, we'll have their fucking cup. But there we go.
I feel it. It ain't going to be a relief version, is it?
Thanks for the up. Ready? Stand up, everyone! Here we go! On forever with bubbles, bring bubbles in the air. Yeah, no! We're 15! That is why so high, and reach the sky, and like my dreams they fade and die. There we go.
Fucking Mickey Mouse trophy, eh?
Where should we start?
Now, do you know what, Jim? He's pissed off.
I think he's all on Insta. I've got 4 followers, you see.
When all the cup winners, it's the year of the birds, Jimmy got excited, didn't you? You thought, fucking birds? Hey!
He's on a change man now. Reading a book. I wasn't. I was good. I wouldn't have been. Well, one of the chapters is called. What was the chapter called? Let me have a look at this again.
Steak, chips and fanny mix.
Steak, chips and fanny mix. Is what the chapter's
Chapter 18.
I enjoyed all 3. Steak, chips and fanny mix. I'm soon divorces in now. I can say what the fuck am I? That's why the book's out. It cost me. I've got no other way to give.
Paul ain't.
By the way, he only wants to say for a bit done. That's what.
Charity, mate.
Charity. It's for charity.
The Jimmy Walker Foundation.
That is actually it.
Basically, he was a lounge in 195. Because he's upset. Who's got landed in 195?
I'll be honest, it's a fucking disgrace. I mean, I don't know if anyone's been to 195, but I was there every weekend for fucking 6 years. And I can't get a lounge name nothing. Andy Carroll got one, pathetic. Kev Nolan, pathetic. I think Nolan's even gone, he didn't even fucking go.
But now look, let's, we've done a few events down here before. We've got 2 players here, so obviously we've got 2 different career paths. But Jim, obviously you joined the club first, 2004. You know, we just lost in the playoff final to Crystal Palace. What was it like joining the club at that time? And what did you know about West Ham? Because you played against us a few times before you joined us. So what's your memories of like playing against us at the Podium and joining the club?
I'll be honest. So I was at Walsall, Team Club Walsall for 10 years. Brilliant little club, such a family club. I had a great time. I took them from Division 2 to the Championship, not single-handed, but I was probably the biggest part in it. I'm not going to lie, it's probably all down to me. We got to the champ and ended up playing against West Ham, and I remember we had a great last season in there, and I was on a free transfer in the summer. We ended up playing at West Ham. West Ham fans will never remember the game, or the odd stat I might, but we drew 0-0 at Upton Park. For Walsall, that was a fucking hell of a result.
For West Ham, that was a fucking result.
This season, every season, they'll be fucking chopping at the bit to get that result.
But so I'm there, and I had a decent game to film, made a few saves, and Alan Pardew was the manager. Played against his Reading sides a lot before he came to West Ham as well. And I had a few good games against him, got promoted against him, etc. So I'm at Upton Park, and I've come out and literally 0-0 at the end. There was a few boos going off at the West Ham players and all that. I've gone aside of the goal to get my glove back. I had a good game, feeling quite happy. And I've got a massive round of applause, like standing ovation from Bobby Moore there, and I'm looking around going, oh, I could play here. It's a bit of me, this. Never thought it happened, but I came off, and Alan Pardew started questioning me a little bit as I'm coming off. Give me a bit of stick, to be fair, Pards. So I give him a little bit back, and when we talk about Pards, like, probably. He loves someone who's got a bit of banter about him as well. And probably someone who likes to burn more than him. So I was probably the only one in football. But he was talking on the way to have a bit of banter, and he half said, what are you doing next season? And I was like, oh, go on then. And it turned out that, yeah, that's the summer. I spoke to him in the summer. You lost against Palace. I spoke to him before. He said, look, see what division we're in, and we'll go from there. So I wasn't sure with the playoff final what would be better for me. Because if you beat Palace, I'm thinking, right, you're going to go up to the Prem. But listen, I've had 6-7 years in the champ. I'm doing well, but I'm untried in the Premier League. So his Pars is going to probably go and take someone else in as well above me. I'm probably second or third choice. If you stay in the champ, I'm probably going to go in as number 1, number 2, like close to playing or challenging to play, and take the club up. And if I do that, then I've got a real chance of starting in the Prem. So I was watching the playoff final thinking, but on the other hand, I'm going, well, if you're in the Prem, I get fucking shitloads of dough. I was on about 800 quid a week as well at Arsenal. And that was fucking good for them.
Who was our keeper? It was Bible, wasn't it?
Oh, Stevie Bywater, what a absolute lunatic, honestly. Can anyone remember Bywater?
Yeah.
Do you know what? He was actually a good goalie, he was just a fucking mentalist. He was a mentalist, but a great guy. But I knew I was, I'm not saying I was better than Steve, but I thought I was at the time. So I knew if I went in there, obviously didn't get promoted. Spoke to Pars a few days after, and he was low, and I got it. And half put me off a little bit. I had a few other offers in the champ, and I was like, all right, I'm not sure I can play for this fucker. I'm not sure about him at all. But I left his house. We'd had a chat. He ended up saying in the house, look, he's going, you know, if you don't want to sign, I can bring in Ed De Hoy, was his words. And I went, fuck me, I must be shit. Ed De Hoy, and I just flipped a little bit. I said, look, Ed De Hoy is not going to win you the league. He's not going to get you promoted. Byers is a good goal, but he ain't going to get you promoted. I'm here for you. I want to play in the Prem. I want to prove everyone wrong. And I want to go from there. If you sign me, I promise I'll get you promoted. He was unsure when I said it, but he bought into it a little bit more. And I went to the ground after, and that was the bit that sold it for me. Because I went to the ground with the doctor, Jez, remember Jez?
Jez, yeah.
Great guy. Went to the ground with Jez and did my medical for in case I signed. at the ground. He introduced me to Terence Brown, the chairman at the time, the director, Paul Aldridge was there, and everyone was about the ground. And I just remember 2 months before when I played there at Upton Park and stood there and got that ovation. And I ended up, after I chatted to everyone, I went and stood in the middle of the pitch, went and stood in both goal marks, looked round, and I went, "Ah, that's it. I'd fucking play for nothing, I'll be honest." But I didn't, obviously. But it weren't as much as fucking when I got promoted and he took the fucking money.
Upton Park special place. But Paul, obviously, different journey for you, and obviously you grew up as a West Ham fan, so obviously, what was it like for you joining the club? You had a good career at Charlton. When that call come, obviously we will go through the championship season with Jimmy, but just talking about how you joined the club, what was it like for you?
Yeah, really interesting, because like you said, I was a mad West Ham fan, but ended up at Charlton as a kid, and it's a big story, because I fell out with the manager at the time. It was Alan Kirbyshire, so I was quite lucky enough that the club got promoted and Alan Pardew come knocking. I never remember it. I was in America, he rang me. Next flight home, I was home because I wanted to do my medical and sign in case he changed his mind. So I wanted to get back to the club that I grew up and supported, and was in a mad North Bank fan, standing behind a goal every week in, week out. So that was basically it. I fell out with the manager. I come to West Ham, and it was a dream come true. Playing for a team that you support, go every game, home and away. They come knocking, and that's where you want to be. And being in the Premier League was something that I wanted to do with the club I support.
I know that it's tempting when we look at it as fans. There would be no other club in the planet that I'd play for other than West Ham. But when you're you're playing for Charlton, you're playing really well. You're on the cusp of an England call up. Does it ever look? Was there any other offers when you sort of thought, maybe I'll be better off there, like a Tottenham or maybe a Man United or something like that? You know what I mean? I know you was up that calibre, Paul, weren't you? Yeah. So
that's interesting. So I went to Tottenham on loan from Charlton.
Yeah.
Because they took Chris Perry. So it was a weird move, really. But looking back now, as a West Ham boy, you wouldn't go to Tottenham. But at the time, it was I need to go and play. Glenn Hoddle took me there to get experience with one of the best that's played football. So that was an interesting move for me to go to Tottenham. But went back to Charlton, and then like the call come, and it wouldn't matter who it was. I wanted to go and play for the team I supported, and it ended up happening in 2005.
Well done. Yeah. Well done.
The mad thing as well about your career, I mean, we're going to talk a lot about it tonight, but obviously you got 2 England caps, to represent the country. You played at under 21 level as well, but when you got your England debut, you made your debut at Upton Park. For a West Ham fan, because England, it was that time where we was going touring the country because Wembley wasn't ready, and to make your debut at Upton Park as a West Ham fan in an England shirt, that must be fucking mental, mate.
What was that? Same one as Wezza?
Yeah. Rooney's debut was lost to Australia.
Yeah, so it's special.
I didn't want to mention the result, Paul, to be honest.
It don't matter. Listen, it's special anytime you play for your country, and it's a proud moment just for me and my family. But to play for England at the club I support at their stadium at Upton Park is home, and it was made it extra special.
That could be a pub quiz question in a few years. I don't know any other player that would have done that. That's mad. And then your second cap was Argentina away when beat them 3-2.
In Geneva, yeah, Michael Owens for that tune.
Did you retire after that game? Fucking love about that on this.
There's nowhere to go from that, was there?
Last time they won anyway, that was.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a great game. But yeah, I mean, Jim, obviously going back to you, we was in the Championship first season. Great season. Some great memories. Obviously got promoted that season. Before we talk about the playoff, there was one game during that season, and I think you might mention it in your book. We played Chelsea away.
Oh, fuck off, right?
In the cup. Now, Paul, I've got to do it, mate. I've got to do it. Jim, I'm not even going to talk now. I'm going to let you
Set
take over. Set the scene for us, Jim.
Hold on, Jim, please. Has anyone heard this story?
Yeah. just pretend you ain't.
Do you want to talk about this?
I'm going to be honest.
Set the scene.
I don't like to just think it was one moment in my West Ham career that everyone remembers. I don't like to live on the past.
However.
And that one story. No, I don't, honestly. Fuck it. There I was, Shed End, Stamford Bridge. The folk were descending off the Thames. It was a piss night. I made a few saves already. They had a decent side out, Mourinho manager. Chop, up, chop. There was no change for him. There was nothing there for him. But to be fair, Tommy Rebka was playing for us, Brevett's playing a left back, Rebka right back, and the crazy bastards that they are just chop someone in the penalty box and give the penalty away. And to be fair, I saw Lampard pick the ball up, and I did not know what it meant to the West Ham fans. Because bear in mind, this was actually my West Ham debut, away at Chelsea, my away debut. So I never knew the history of Lampard until he picked that fucking ball up, and the coins came down, the pies came down, the Marswells came down. There's 8,000 West Ham behind me, going absolutely mental. I'm looking down going, what the fuck is going on here? Bear in mind, I've been at Warsaw with about 250 people there every week. So 8,000 West Ham fans behind the going mental. It's all kicking off. I think Kesner was up top as well. He's got claret running down there. We can't work out if that was a coin or it was fucking Rebka's elbow. No one knows, but I would hazard a guess it was Rebka's elbow, if I'm being honest. Brevitt's kicking off, his dreads are fucking going everywhere, he's fighting everyone, and I'm like that. And I had a moment I thought, right, I better fucking focus here. And to be fair to Lampard, one of the best players, give him his dues. So I'm thinking, I'm looking at his eyes, and he looks at me, and I could see he was shitting himself. He shit himself even more because I saw the coins coming down. And bear in mind, I knew I was down south because it's back up north at Warsaw, it would be 5p's and 10p's. It's fucking £2 coins a pound. I've been on fucking £800 a week for the last 6 years. So I'm filling my fucking shin pads up. £2 coins. And so there, my fucking legs are out here. I looked at Lampard's eyes, shitting himself he was. And I thought, do you know what? Even he, as good a player as he is, it's been 5-6 minutes till it's kicked off, till he's about to take the penalty. I'm thinking, he can't place it low down, he's not going to pick a corner. I'm just going to stand up as tall as I can, which is pretty hard. 6'3" when I played, mate.
By the way, Jim, you've told this story 10 times and it's get better and better.
Practice. I swear, so I'm thinking, right, I'm just going to follow the ball, whatever he does, and I'm going to save this. So look through to me, Darren, come on, follow me. He's fucking Lampard stepped up, and I swear to God, I made an unbelievable save in the bottom corner. Tick, tick. No, you was at the game, I can't lie to you. I basically ran down the pitch and went, and it fucking hit the coins in the shin pad, went about 100 yards. I went out, and the fucking West Ham fans behind celebrated it more than any goal I've ever seen, and people, I'm still living off it nowadays. I don't think you'd invite me without that fucking saying. I didn't make that England camp. But it's got 100 yards there, and fucking the West Ham fans have gone behind, and they're still saying that was one of the best moments, which was amazing. The kicker was to the story, like, I'm buzzing, like, it was a great game. Made me debut, I've made myself in a bit of folklore with the fans. So never thought. A couple of days later, 3 or 4 days later, I got a DVD, because that's how fucking old I am. I think it was a VHS actually. I heard it was Peter, man. It might have been Peter, man. There's only a few of us remember that in here. I got to think, and Martin Tyler he was doing the Sky, he wasn't a commentator, he was doing the ITV coverage that night. So he sent the DVD through with a lovely little note, to be fair, still got the note, and he said, Jim, just wanted to congratulate you on a great performance. Great penalty save, something they'll live with you. Obviously the fans loved it. This is something for you to keep and look back on. I thought, brilliant, that's a lovely gesture. P.S. Look at the linesman and the ref when you save it. So I'm watching it back. I got a bit carried away watching my saves, didn't fucking think about it. Because oh shit, I didn't look at the ref. Rewound it. So as I'm saving it, and now you've got to remember, back in the day, it's none of them fucking VAR lines and all the shit lines they draw. They didn't talk to each other in each other's ears and that. They just got on with the game like refs should. But to be fair, he didn't need lines that day. I was about 6 yards off the line. There's a picture in the book of it, and I've tried to black that I was on the line, but with the picture in the book, literally he's not even took it, he's still about 2 yards away. I'm literally on a 6 yard box. So they didn't need the lines like to do it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I watched it back. But one of my best moments in the West Ham shirt and my debut, and that moment was nearly taken away from me because the busy bastard linesman You can just see him in the ITV commentary because he's got the full screen. In the bottom corner of the screen, waving his flag like fucking mad to say I've moved off my line. And then I pan back to Andy D'Urso. Andy D'Urso's looked at him with a face like, what the fuck? He's looked at the West Ham fans behind it, and you can just see him running off going, fuck that! Thanks, fuck for Andy D'Urso for 6 hours.
Dude, honestly, I remember that night, me and Nicky was behind the goal that night. It was an unbelievable night. But the thing is, if you'd have been playing in today's game, you could have been there with a fucking chip and pin machine. Contactless payments behind the goal instead of the £2 coins.
You know what? I was going to say, if we'd have won that game, that would have gone down in legend as one of the best ever. Anton hit the bar in the last minute. Do you remember that?
To be fair, he's got a score. He had his fucking skates on. Didn't watch him on Dance on the Line. I'll be honest, Anton was a better skater than he was a footballer. Agreed.
But yeah, no, look, that was just one great memory from that season. But later on, we got to the playoff final in Cardiff. You know, going into that final, there must have been so much pressure on you because we didn't get promoted the season before. Obviously, a lot of people know the parachute payments ends. A lot of people at the club that have worked there for years could lose their jobs. So, what was it like going into that final, Jim?
Well, I mean, all leading up to it was tough. Even after the Chelsea game, Pars wouldn't quite give me the nod. I think I had about 3 games on the spin, Christmas time, done quite well, but I had groin injury, so I didn't play again for a bit, and he never put me, he stuck with Stevie Bywater, and he only got to probably 2 or 3 months before the end of the season, and we was mid-table. We were struggling, we was really struggling. We've got to make the playoffs there, we know we've got to make the playoffs, the parachute payments are ending, and the club are in trouble if we don't make it. Mid-table, and we go Wigan away, and to be fair, like, on the bus, we're going up to Wigan on the bus, you've got the management there, you've got Pardew there. Never before have I seen a chairman, a chief exec, directors sat on the bus all season, and they was on the bus and we're going, oh, he's fucked. If we don't win this, he's gone. So we knew it was in trouble, but we had to win the game. We was really struggling mid-table. And I remember, I didn't think I was going to play, I must admit. Like, he'd not played me for, it must have been 2 months since my last game. I'd sort of enjoyed the other side of Essex, probably a little bit too much. I fucking lot too much. So I'm nowhere near playing, so I enjoyed Essex. Never thought I was playing. I still worked hard in training, but enjoyed the other side. Like I said, got to Wigan, I'm putting the music on. In the thingy, the lads have gone to look at the pitch. I don't think I'm playing, so I'm not even checking the pitch. I'm changing the music because fucking Anton and Marlon have got some shit on.
Jim, hold on. So, tell the story properly. So the night before that game, when you travelled, where was you?
No, mate, I stayed in. I think the 195, honestly.
We can edit this out. So
Yeah, edit it wisely. No, to be fair, so we got to Wigan and I'm literally in the thingy, changing music anyway, and Pars was coming. Goalie, I need you. I need a word with you. And he took me in the shower room. Now, anyone knows Pars, you don't want to be a fucking load in the shower room. Thankfully, I had a cock. So I was alright. We're different. Size and everything, mate. We were good one. So in the shower room, he went, Jim, I need you today, goalie. I'm like, what do you need, mate? I fucking need you, I need a clean sheet, I need a win. I went, oh fucking, now you need me, do you? So I ended up playing the game, I was miles off him, but to be fair, the lads pulled me through. We ended up getting a 2-1 win. Sheringham scored, one of the best players I've played with, Teddy. He scored, we went 1-0 down in the game, Teddy scored straight after. And just from that moment, just leading on to the playoffs, just from that moment there was a shift in his mindset, you could see it. And we got back in it and we went, right, no more fucking about. Let's go and win this game. And the fans went with it, and we just went for it. We won the game 2-1. So credit, we needed the win. The chairman fucked off in his helicopter back instead of and left Pars up there. We actually stayed up that night because we had Burnley on the Tuesday night. So we stayed up in Manchester the night, and it was actually Teddy's 40th birthday. So we was pulling straws. He was asking Pars. Fuck it, short straw obviously, didn't I? Gaffer, Teddy's 40th. Do you mind if we going to Manchester. He's like, right, no fucking birds back to the hotel. No one in the papers. I'll fucking sack you all, but I don't want anything else happens. Just be ready for fucking training tomorrow. Like, okay, we're there. So we went to. We had a great night in Manchester. It's Teddy's 40th. Played at Burnley on the Tuesday. Won the game 1-0. Right back in contention. Sheringham with the winner, which was incredible because 48 hours earlier I was carrying the 40-year-old on my fucking shoulder. Bring his Champions League medal as well, son.
I was going to say, he must have had a couple of contests. He spent a couple of years up there, hasn't he?
Brilliant, mate. He was a legend up there. Mate, hands down, the best wingman I've ever had.
For knockdowns.
Oh, standard. Yeah, chest me that one down, soon. But no, it was amazing. So leading up to that, we went on a great run after that. I don't think we lost the game. I think we lost one at Upton Park against Sunderland, who won the league 2 games before the end, and we thought we'd blown it and was Devo, but that was on the Friday night. Yeah, it was a Friday night, and on the Saturday no one took advantage of the slip up. So we knew going into the last couple of games it was in his own hands. We made no mistake after that. We beat Watford away on the last day of the season to sneak in the playoffs. Beat 2-1, I think. And anyway, I'll talk about the semi-finals quickly because against Ipswich was amazing. It was one of the best emotional experiences I've ever had. Just running out of Upton Park, the whole ground singing Bubbles as loud as I've ever heard ever. Probably on the same as the Man U game of the last game. It was at that level. To be fair, the bubbles are flying. I was like, it was amazing. So to win that and actually get to the final meant so much. And obviously read the book, and I always wanted to play in the Prem, so I know I had a real chance as well now. So I've got that on me. But you talk about lads who Anton tells a brilliant story as well, because he grew up from 13. Anton Ferdinand was 18 at the time. Elliot Ward was 18. Centre halves playing in that running. They don't get the credit they deserve, to be fair. They was incredible in that running, to be fair to them. And they've grown up with all these people that probably, if we don't get promoted, are going to get the sack. The club's in trouble. So there was added pressure on them. At 18, they dealt with it so well. And obviously, to get the win in the final was, to do that and keep them in the jobs and get the club to where we want to be, where the club should be, the fans should be, was an amazing achievement.
When we get to the end of that final, Jim, obviously we know what happened to you at the end of the final. You got a bad injury. We've all seen the picture of you on Ludo's back. It's because you've done your knee. You've done your knee pretty badly. When you've got to that point where you think to yourself, this is my chance, this is the game, we're getting to the Premier League, and then you when you've done a bad injury, did you start to shit yourself a bit and thinking like, am I going to be back? I went in time, because if you'd have been fit, I would say you would have started the season with us.
Yeah, no, I did think it at the time, obviously. I mentioned Anton Elliott Ward, 18 years of age. So I took the pressure off him. We're 1-0 up, Matty's crossed it to Bobby, Bobby's got the goal in. So I said, listen, and I tried to take the pressure off him all season. I never really came for crosses, but that season I fucking took it on me and I did. And that's why my knee fucked. My body weren't used to it. It always stays on the line, happily. But I said to Anton, listen, and Preston had some big lads in the team.
Yeah.
And all they kept doing was shelling it. So I said, look, just keep a high line. Anything that goes over your head with enough height on it, I'll come and deal with it. Just block the striker. So literally seconds to go in the game, they got a free kick on the halfway line, just inside our half. And I said, listen, do the same thing. Keep us up 20 yards out. Do not come back in the box. And they've showed it in there. And to be fair, as much as I'm giving a bit like a big up and rightly so, I didn't trust the fuckers at all. So there was no way on God's earth I was leaving it for them to fucking head. So I've gone for it and I've literally took it edge of the box, and as I've landed, that's when sort of my wall came crashing down a little bit because I've snapped the ACL, I've snapped the lateral. My knee was finished, like it needed reconstructing after that. But it was a weird thing because if anyone's done the ACL before and done the knee, when I landed, like I passed out with the pain for a few seconds, and then I looked round and the ball was just outside the box. And I dragged it back in, and I'm thinking, what the fuck's just happened? And then the refs around me and the Preston lads are trying to get me sent off. And but within about 10 or 20 seconds, the pain sort of subsided. And I'm thinking, I'm all right. Johnny Green, the physio at the time's come on. He's come on the pitch. And I'm going, John, I'm all right. Strap me up. And he's going, no, you finished. Just relax. You're done. So I never thought it was that bad at the time. But I got stretchered off. I couldn't reach Bobby Zamora at the time to celebrate with him So I celebrated with the Preston fans when we scored. So I'm in their fucking faces like 20 minutes later, I'm going past them on a stretcher. They had no sympathy. I got coined as much as fucking Lampard did. He's hanging off here, mate. But I've gone round and obviously I watched the last few minutes. I think it was about 6-7 minutes injury time at the end. And Bywater, to be fair, came on. And again, another one. Don't get as much credit as it deserves for that. Because this literally seconds left in the game. He chucked one in the season before at that end against Palace. Not chucked it, but spilt it. And they scored from it and lost the game. He's coming on at the same end, the same time in the game, more or less, to face a free kick. Thank fuck he's thick as pig shit. Because he did not know the magnitude of the situation. He just and then fucking smashed it, and to be fair, when he stuck it, and with that the game was done more or less. And I'm in the treatment room looking at him, fucking thank fuck he's thick. But he stuck it, and I was sat in that treatment room, and I remember, to be fair, my dad found his way down from the stands, and he's like, "You've done it well done, you're in the Prem." I'm like, looking at me going, might take a while to get back to this though. And to be fair, Johnny Green came in, the physio at the time, and he says, well done, you've done it. Yeah. And he's gone, and I just looked at him and I went, and I'm looking at the lads, and I was in the first aid room. It was the most surreal moment of my life. It's a tiny first aid room. I've just come from out there in front of 100,000 fans. I know everyone's watching worldwide, I know the magnitude of the game. Now I'm sat in a little first aid room looking at it on the tiniest boxy screen you've ever seen. And I'm looking at the lads who I was out with like 5 minutes earlier celebrating. So I just said to Johnny, I went, "John, I'm going out there, mate. You need to get me out there." He went, "No, you sit down." No. I went, "No, I'm going out there, so do what you need to do." And he put the biggest fucking bandage on me you've ever seen. It was, and I ended up going out, and then I went out with John, and then Ludo and Stevie Bywater, to be fair to him, came over. And I was fucking, I mean, I'm not going to lie, you've probably seen sizing and everything, but Ludo's about 6'7", and Bywater's about 6'5". My fucking legs were dangling. I was like, "Right, Ludo, so get me on your back." So I got on Ludo's back. So it actually, from all that heartache, and the bittersweet as it was an amazing time. But to actually do it on Ludo's back and join in the celebrations, walk around the pitch, I had the trophy at one point, champagne in my hands, on Ludo's back, an absolute icon and a legend of a goalkeeper and a man. To be on his back celebrating made it even better in some ways.
Well, Jim, funny you say that, mate, because we've got an old friend here for you tonight. It's not Ludo, but it is the playoff final trophy.
Ian from E13 against everyone.
To be fair, it's a fucking bit like me. It's a lot smaller than I remember. That was about a metre and I'm 6'4". Amazing. It's amazing.
Well, chuck it in the front, Jim, in front of your book, mate.
Possible, mate.
I'll put that down. It's 60 quid. Yeah.
So that is the thing, Paul, that brought you to the club.
And that's the one that got him all the fucking money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a big, obviously a big reconstruction in the summer. Obviously, we need to prepare for the Premier League. You're one of the players that come in. Obviously, you come in under parts. So life was good under parts at first, was it?
So going back to that, I was at the playoff final as a fan. So obviously, I see everything Jimmy's saying there, and I was buzzing because I knew there might have been an inkling that I could join the football club. So I was absolutely buzzing when obviously the lads won, and I wanted to be out there celebrating with them. But yeah, obviously a couple of weeks later, the phone rings. You got a chance to go into West Ham. My agent, it has to happen. I want to go. I need to go there. My team, I supported as a kid. Make sure it happens. A bit later on, come on, what's going on? So as a player, I think once you get an inkling that something might happen, you want it to happen yesterday, not when it's going to happen. Obviously ended up getting the call, go and meet Pards. Like I said, I flew back from America, spoke to the chairman, deal's done. Couldn't wait to get started. Do you remember the Reebok training gear or not?
I liked it because it was baggy.
It was the biggest and baggiest.
I've seen it.
So me, Ginge, Danny Gabardon signed all on the same day. So it was a day to remember, to be fair. The three of us joined, and
I mean, that's 3 good signings, isn't it? Come on.
Brilliant signings. 3 really good
Great,
signings.
as well. 195 takings with fucking skyline.
Well, you were back on your feet here, so they needed the money.
Yeah, so obviously, like you say, going back for pre-season, I couldn't wait for it to happen. I heard what Pards used to be like as for fitness-wise, so I need to get fit, I need to do this because I want to be playing at the club I support, and being a new signing, you want to impress. So done everything in what I could do to make sure I was ready to play, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it when he took me there, but I learned quick how much it was about him. I don't know if you know Pards.
Was it?
And you hear these stories, but if he was chocolate, he would eat it.
I heard a story, right? Now, you can confirm or deny this, right? And this is going back. I heard a story that he was sitting with Stevie Bacon, the photographer. You remember Stevie Bacon?
Yeah.
And he was sitting with his assistant manager, and they was having dinner one night.
Peter Grant.
Peter Grant, yeah, legend. So he was eating dinner one night. So anyway, they're all having dinner, right? So they're sitting with Stevie Bacon. Stevie was a big boy at the time, you know what I mean? So they're sitting there having dinner, and he's looking at them, so they've made their order, and he goes to Peter Grant and he goes, I don't think I like what I've ordered. I think if yours comes and it's better than mine, I'm going to have yours. Right? And Stevie Bacon laughed. Right?
Is that dinner or wives?
Second half.
So anyway, the dinner's come out, right, and Stevie Bacon hasn't got his yet. So the two dinners come out, and he looks at them both and he goes, yeah, actually, I do like yours better than mine. So they swapped the dinners over. And Stevie Bacon said to him, and this has got to the truth, he said to him, when mine comes out, if you like mine better than mine, you're not fucking having mine. Right? But I swear that he goes, why did you do that to him? He goes, when you're the king, you can do what you want. And that's the words out of his mouth. If he could eat, if he was chocolate, he would eat himself. That is what I'm
But
saying.
there is a story. So the Audi Q8, do you remember that new car? Yeah.
Yeah, Ferrari at one point, didn't he?
But he had a brand new Audi Q8. No one's got one. Right in where he parks in the training ground, everyone come in, fucking whose car's that? Fucking that's lovely, blah blah blah. Yeah, there's only one of them in the country right now, and that's mine.
Sounds like a lovely bloke.
But no, I'm going to be honest, I love playing for him. I love working with him, and for the 18 months I had with him, it was really good for me and my career, and like, I appreciate that he brought me back to the club that I supported as a kid, and I had the privilege to play for him in the cup final and many more games.
And to be fair to him, he was a good coach, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a good coach, good bloke. And I've got to thank him because I won't have half the fucking stories about him. He took us to Sweden every opportunity, Dubai. Oh, your boys here, I can't really say about that. I can't really say about 90% of the stories. But you have to read the book for the truth.
No, as you said, we had some great times under Pardew, and that season was a great season for me. Personally, one of my favourite seasons supporting West Ham, because that team was really together, and we reached the FA Cup final that year. And we had a great win at Arsenal that season as well, last season to win at the Emirates. But as a warm-up before the cup final, we had a game at Upton Park against Spurs where we stopped them getting in the Champions League. I mean, it's all remembered for Lasagna Gate. Talk us through that day. That was a mad day.
Just before that though, right, when you say about the team, and we had a fantastic group, and I know Jim mucks around and fucks around, so we go out, but I think that's what brought us all together. Like, we played Saturday, we'd go out on a Thursday night. Like, it's not known now.
Well, you might have done.
Yeah, but I played, you didn't.
Friday as well.
I think you can tell that with the team spirit that season, because I mean, you and Matty Everton down that left was unbelievable that season, and it's underrated because it was you two had a great partnership, and that was one of the main reasons why we had such a successful season that season.
Yeah, but I do bring it back, like Jim says, we had a good group, but we used to go out after game Tuesday, we used to go out on a Thursday, we used to go out on a Saturday, but we was all together all the time. I know it ain't right now, you wouldn't do it, but we got away with it and we had a good season. But leading up to that, all them excuses, we was in the hotel, we remember that, in the Marriott, Clear Wolf. Tottenham were going to pull out, they're going to play their youth team, blah blah blah, they got food poisoning. Alright, so I remember it was a hot day, Upton Park. It was one of the best games that I played in at Upton Park, because obviously we won and stopped them. But always playing against Tottenham was good, but it just made it extra better being at Upton Park. them making excuses and winning 2-1.
But you look at I mean, especially last night. I watched that game last night. I've never seen a worse game of football in my life, for various reasons. But do you think that's what's missing today? I know that it's a more athletic game and all of that. But do you think that camaraderie is missing from the game today? Do you think they should be going out together? Because they go home, they get in their dipping pools or whatever, and they don't see each other again till.
I'm going to be honest. Like, imagine going out now. Do what we did. I mean, you've got to think as well. This is probably just before camera phones. I mean, we're old as fuck.
Jim, I'm not saying that to go and do what you did, man. I'm just saying going out in general. You know what I mean?
If they did it now in the society we're living in now, we'd probably get 20 years apiece. Minimum.
But do you think that's missing?
I think, especially with us, we had a good core of English players, and I think that's really key in a football club that do well. Listen, we had Yossi Benayoun. Listen, he was one of us. He's a fantastic player, but he would get involved with us English boys. And I think a lot now, I don't think there's enough English people in every team that they know what it's about.
I think you get the groups as well, don't you? So the French-speaking players will go with the French-speaking, the Spanish-speaking will go with the Spanish-speaking, etc.
But we did have that, to be fair, we had that. But I think we had a core that knew what it meant to play for West Ham.
Yeah.
You know, we had like, obviously, you've got Teddy who was a fan as well. In the change room, you've got myself who's come to love the club by playing through the club and knows what it takes to play in front of the fans. So we always had a core, probably had about 10 or 12 in there that knew what it meant to play and knew what it meant. Listen, we played hard, we did, but we worked fucking hard as well. The lads did especially, and it was an amazing group. It was an amazing time. I mean, you go on like pods and stuff. He was clever because the people he signed, the players he signed, yes, there was good players, there was quality players. You mentioned Matiev and Konchesky on the left-hand side. That's as good as you get. That's better than anything nowadays by a mile.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But there was good people. There was really good people, and they knew what it meant to play for West Ham by then as well.
But you look at the depth in the squad. So you had 3 centre-halves, was Anton, Gabs, Collins. I think Waldy was still there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Then you had Conch at left back. Who did we have in goal? Shaka in goal. But then you had Yossi, Matty Everton. I mean, they're serious players. You know.
So tell you guys under the radar. Aidan Mullins.
Aidan Mullins.
Nigel Rio-Cola, Ashton, Zamora, Harewood,
Up front, Teddy. 4 top. Do you think we done well enough in that season? Do you think we done well enough?
Well, yeah, because we finished what? Top 7,
Ninth,
for 9, and the FA Cup final was so close to winning it. You know, it still hurts me now. When you talk about players, you mentioned Aidan Mullins. Aidan was one of them players that you didn't realise what he did until he came out of the team. I mean, we're with everyone. We're going, how the fuck is Mascherano playing in front of him? I was Aidan playing in front of Mascherano. But you actually could see why, because he gelled it together. But the one player I would say as well, who would have gone on honestly to be, he'd have gone on to be England's number 9 for 10, 12 years, was Dean Ashton.
Yeah, we've had Dino,
And a great guy. And to be fair, Conch nearly lost him in Dubai when he signed for 9 million.
Conch?
No, we'll talk about that one later.
Okay.
£9 million star striker, Conch lost him.
We'll talk about that one later, Jim.
In Dubai, he thought he was dead.
Before the cup final.
But yeah, let's talk about the FA Cup final, because I think we can all agree, even though we lost that day, it was one of the greatest FA Cup finals of all time, and going into that game against Liverpool, probably the best team in Europe at that time. What you boys done on that day made us so proud, you know, to be West Ham, and we should have won that cup final. We should have won it.
Right, we might talk about the Dubai one now then. So before the cup final, obviously we played on the Saturday. We knew we was playing Chelsea the following Sunday, I think. Yeah. So we flew to Dubai.
Are you going down the Dubai route early?
Pastor,
I was trying to swerve off it.
I think you should wait until everyone's had a couple more beers. You're going to remember this.
Before the cup final.
No, it was before the
Yeah.
That was Pars took us to Dubai for the team bonding to get together for the final, the semi-final, and the final.
Right, we're talking about the cup final then.
Let's go cup final.
Cup final. But the 2 games leading up to that was Dino took us there really. So Man City,
The quarterfinals, wasn't it?
it was a joke. I still see it in my head now. It's going down the left. He chops it with his left and finishes with right. Like you say about Dino, he was probably the unluckiest player.
The striker we never had.
He was left, right, could edit.
He could do everything, couldn't he?
And he would have gone on to play for the best in the world because that's how good he was.
And to be fair, you look at it, you say we should have won it, you're right, because I remember Ginge tells a story a lot as well. We were sat on the bench, obviously I was there, he was playing, but I was on sat with Ginge. Ginge was on the bench as well that day, and probably should have played to be fair. But that's a different story, fucking Scaloni played. I hate that geezer.
I think you've done alright. I don't know what happened. I think you've done alright.
Don't even go there. To have to watch him win the cup final, the World Cup as well, massively.
The thing is though, Paul, like going into the FA Cup final, like, as a West Ham fan, like we all grew up as West Ham fans and we all used to kick the ball in the back garden dreaming of playing in the FA Cup final. And you got to do it, and not only did you do it, you scored in that FA Cup final as well. So
What a goal, what a shot that was.
when I interviewed you 9 years ago, I said to you, you meant that, and I still mean it, you meant that.
Because Rayler was about that big, so I could chip him. So I knew him. You know what I mean? No, but listen, listen, I think every West Ham fan to get to a cup final is their best day. But to support them to play in a cup final and to score, it was playing for my club was a dream. Playing for England was a dream, but playing in a final was the biggest dream that you could ask for as a young kid growing up, being a fan.
And literally seconds away from winning it. Sat on a bench with Ginger, Ginger's gone, I think we fucking won it. It's fucking Ginger's fault actually, not Scaloni's. I think we've won it. He's going, but can you imagine later in faces with a fucking winners that way? And I'm fucking picturing all sorts here. I'm going to feel like Sheringham just once. I'll be like that, and then the ball's dropped in and...
But I think it's anyone else. If it ain't him, I think we'll go and win the game.
And to be honest, I think if Pards picks the right team and plays me ahead of Shaka.
The game was low down when Jim over.
Oh, you got to.
Well, listen, all I want to say, alright, the lads, I mean, I listened to a couple of lads doing podcasts, and they said, oh, Jim said he would have saved it, and like, I think it was Matty Ginge, Konchesky, I was like, what the fuck? But, right, I'll let you decide.
No.
So a year to the... Right, listen to the story first, I'm going to hammer the shit out of it. So a year to the... I did my knee in the player final.
Yeah.
Everyone wrote me off, said I'll never come back fit again, I'll never play again. A year to the day, we've got in the FA Cup final. A year to the day. It's the FA Cup. So leading up to it, I'm fucking in training. I was flying to be the best I've felt. I'm making saves, and after every save I made, I go, Pards, that's what I do in the fucking final. That's what you get. I fucking saying that, not Pards, that's what you've got to play with. You've got to play with. So 3 weeks leading up, I'm trying to save it. And it was close between me and Shaka, I knew it was. Because we sort of alternated in the league towards the end of the season. So I knew it was close, but I'm with Paul's here every day going, it's fucking fate, Gaffer. And it was a year to the day, the same place, in an FA Cup final, I've been rolled off, the same end of the ground, the same goal mouth, the same position I did my fucking knee, and it's gone out to Gerald at the same time in the game, and he smashed it down. Well listen, would I have got it? It's a big question.
No.
You've got to remember, Shaka's fucking up there,
Yeah.
right? And the ball's gone in down there. I'm fucking here, I'm halfway there. So by fucking the law of physics, I fucking save it. And I'm in faces with a couple of it, it still hurts me now.
I'm still in faces, I really
Yeah, I'm still in faces, yeah. Just the loser's medal hurt a little bit. Nah, but listen, you never know. But can you imagine, I mean, I joke about it, and I say in the book, it was tough because obviously it happened and we was fucking devastated, but in the back of my head I've got that going, and I said to Paul so many times, there's going to be a moment in the game that the gods are going to send down for me for doing that to me. Always wanted to play in the Prem. It took me 12 years to get there or close to it because everyone told me I was too small. Finally got there. As I'm getting there, seconds before I get there, my knee goes. A year to the day, I'm like,
it has to be fate. It has to be fate. But Pars did this and the fucking useless.
But we get past that cup final, and I mean, even though we lost the game, even still today, I think it's the greatest cup final that I've ever watched, ever. Because again, I watched that one last night. It wasn't really good, was it, that cup final? But greatest cup final I've ever watched, FA Cup final. And I look past that and I think to myself, the future's bright here. We've got a good young team. We've got some England internationals playing for us. We've got some brilliant players. We've got people like Nigel Rio-Coker and Bobby Zamora, who's firing on all cylinders. You know, proper West Ham fans, proper West Ham people. Teddy then retires, and then we bring in, I think it was Carlton, was it, as his replacement. So we've got 4 good strikers
Some
still.
fucking downgrade that.
But we've got 4. I mean, we've still got Dino. I don't think he's injured by that time. We've still got Dino. The future looks bright. And then all of a sudden, 2 Argentinians turn up at the fucking door. What was you all thinking there? Was you thinking we're going to go and win the fucking league here?
Do you remember that day? We was training on the training pitch. The manager weren't there, and he rolls in with these 2. The lads are like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck are these?
I didn't know. Did you know? I don't know.
I got up a Scooby-Doo. Who they was?
When it got out, did you think, I'll be honest with you, right? I've never even heard of him either, and I heard there was big news. He looked like a fucking werewolf, didn't he? Just he was a
What made it look worse was
with a
that
fucking ear coming up.
they had that baggy Reebok fucking trainers. Tevez was looking around thinking, where the fuck am I? Mascherano was like, I don't fucking know.
We had portal cabins. And what is this?
We still got them poor games, but we
didn't have a clue. We didn't have a clue who they were. I don't think the fucking Pars did. He walked in with them like 2 players here, lads. Got them off the park.
What was they like? Honestly, when they got did they look at? Did you introduce them and they basically looking at what the fuck? Who the fuck are these people?
Carlos didn't speak a word of fucking English. Didn't know any interest. I remember one thing he said to Roy Carroll: "Fuck off."
I think we taught him that.
I think everyone said that to Roy Carroll or something.
Roy was having a go at him. He went, "Fuck off."
It was a moment I would have realised, oh fuck.
But Mascherano, to be fair to him, he learned English and he wanted to learn, but he fucking never played. He played at Bishop Stortford in a resi game when he first signed. Bishop Stortford. Disgusting.
I mean, you could see when they came in, Mascherano was a player. His diags, he'd drill a ball 90 yards straight to someone's fucking shin. It was an unbelievable player, wasn't it? But it's going to take time, the kids, to come over as well. They was young as well, so it was going to take time to blend in. But you could see Mascherano had it. Tevez, on the other hand, was fucking useless.
It was. He done one thing though. He rolled the ball through Christian Daly's legs and put nutmeg there.
That went down well.
Christian put the fucking Braveheart paint on.
Fucking chin-ups.
But to be fair, that was Tevez live because that's all he did. He rolled the ball and he put it through his nose.
It was good.
And you could see him like he'd do it for like weeks on end, and then in the end, like you'd see Ginge and Christian looking at him and going, "Fuck off," and just clattering him. And he's like on the floor going, "What the fuck's going on here?" And it took him a while to get to it, but when he did towards the end of the season, I mean, obviously that season was the great escape at the end, and he was non-existent really, Tevez, 6 months before it, but I'll probably talk about that in a minute, but he was unplayable by the end of it.
Yeah. But how do we go from FA Cup finalists, going well in the league, to the fucking great escape? How the fuck does that happen?
it's the West Ham way.
There you go. But to be fair, I mean, like I said, FA Cup final we should have won it. The lads did incredible. To actually, Gerrard to score in the last seconds, for them to bounce back, you know, everyone on the pitch going, right, fucking put it to bed, let's go and win it in extra time now. So won it in, you know, tried to win it in extra time, done unbelievable to get in that, I think we took the lead again, was that? And then they've come back, so it's gone into penalties. And we're going up to penalties, we're believing we can win it, all through extra time. Through the whole of extra time, whatever's happened, we believe we can win it. Until he got to the 4th penalty, and Anton stepped up. And we shook all Liverpool's hands and went, well done.
To be fair, fucking 3 West Ham fans missed, didn't we? Me, Bobby, Anton. So
I mean,
the best cup final, but what a shit way to lose.
I mean that walk must have been fucking harrowing. I could never have done that walk. That's tough.
When you miss, no, you
when you walk down to it to take the penalty.
Yeah, there's 11 there, mate, and you've got to be brave enough to, you know, you're brave enough to step up, you're brave enough to miss them, and you know, we appreciate that. Lads, you know, you stand up to take one, miss, score, whatever. It's
fucking score.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to make you feel better.
Faces to go to, mate. As a squad, you win together, you lose together. But in the change room after, obviously, we know what with Scaloni. I mean, if that was Thomas Repka, that weren't going to Gerrard, that was going in fucking Rosette.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Scaloni was there, and it's just one of them moments. As you said earlier, it fell to probably the best player in the world at that time. He was unplayable, and I know Jimmy said he would have saved it. I mean,
100%.
you know, as fans that were there that day and watched it, we was all proud of them, weren't we, on that day? What a great cup final. One of the best. But that, obviously, the great escape season, Paul, obviously, Pardue got sacked around, was it November time, something like that? Kerbishley come in. I know you didn't have a great relationship with Kerbishley. What was it like when he come in? I'm trying to fucking, yeah.
Let's go around here.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I think, like, listen, when the new manager comes in, every player's on their toes. When I knew Curb was coming, it was quite difficult for me because I knew straight away that my time was probably going to be over because I've just left Charlton 18 months before. Because me and him, we fell out, and all I wanted to do is play, and he turned up, and yeah, basically I played at Man United, we beat them 1-0 at home. Went to Reading, lost about fucking 6-0. I don't think I'll play for the football club again. But it weren't just me, so he left out people like me, Teddy. So looking back, I was fucking devastated, but then I used to get weekends off. It was fucking class. Train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, have the weekend off, son. No worries.
Was there a part of you thinking to yourself, though, I might wait this out because in today's game, you're more than likely going to outweigh you. You know, outweigh you.
It was a tough one for me because, listen, West Ham's my football club, and I wanted to be there, and I want to be. I'd love to have still been there to the end of my career. You come to the end of the season, and obviously Curbs was still there, so it was a tough one for me to sit it out, just to sit there or go and play. And I was only 25, 26 at the time, so I want to go and play as many games as I can. And in my career, all I wanted to do is play. Whatever level that was, wherever I was good enough to play for, I just wanted to play as many games as I could. And it weren't obviously to be at West Ham as much as I would like it to be. So I had to move on to go and further my career.
Does that stick in the back of the throat though, thinking that stuff from Charlton has now come over? You both supported West Ham, he's a West Ham fan and all, you know, so... Yeah.
No, of course, and like I say, I could have got hopefully played another 200, 300, 400 games for the club, but it weren't to be. So looking back, is it sickening? Yeah, fucking right, of all it is, because I'd like to have still been there when I was 30, 32. So it was an horrible moment for me, but listen, we know what football's like. People move on, managers move on. I had to move on for myself to go and play more games in my career and go where I had to go.
You ended up at Liverpool.
West Ham, I went to Fulham, so I had three good years at Fulham.
Europa League final for Fulham.
Yeah, Europa League final, yeah. Lost that one as well, fucking must be me.
Yeah, but for Fulham to get to the Europa League final, that was a massive achievement. Was it Atletico Madrid? You lost 2-1?
Interesting, that's an interesting one because the first year I went there, we were fighting relegation. We got out of that. The second year, we ended up in Europa League in spots, and the third year we ended up playing in the final. So fantastic 2.5 years there to get to the final, but a fucking silver medal again. So it's not nice.
Yeah. No, fucking. Sorry for that. Has anyone got a fucking gold medal out there?
We'll like them for you. We've got a spare around the building.
Listen, there's no point getting to a final unless you're going to fucking win it.
No, but look, just before we end the first half, the Great Escape season, we had to go to Old Trafford to get the result.
Unbelievable. Jim weren't there, mate.
No,
He wasn't even playing.
Unbelievable running.
Bench, mate. Again.
Tevez gets a lot of credit for that season, but Bobby Zamora was fucking unbelievable in that running for us. Rob Green, Ginge. There's a lot of people that don't get the mentions as they should because everyone thinks about Tevez. And I know he scored the goal, but he didn't really turn up till March, did he? Let's be honest.
No, not at all. But like I said, there was nothing there. Didn't say anything. The game was, I don't know if you probably will remember, was Spurs at home. Put the free kick in there, celebrating with the fans.
The belly wobble, didn't you, that day?
He was big. He was big. He was big. He weren't shredded. But he's jumped in the fans. The fans have gone with it. With 3-2 up, we end up losing the game in the last few minutes. Everyone's devastated. No, because we're struggling. We know we're struggling. We're going back down. All the hard work's been undone. Tevez had not been bothered before that, really. But like then after the game, you talk about adversity and how you can come together on the back of it. Nobes was crying on the pitch. It meant so much. The lads are devastated. I think we've fucking blown it. Tevez, like something switched in him that day for me. And after that, that's when he became unplayable. But it wasn't just him by a long stretch of imagination. Like you say, at the back, Anton, Ginge, Greeny, the lads, it was unbelievable that season, to be fair. The running, I think we won 8 out of the last 9 games to start, including the Old Trafford one. But and to be fair to Greeny was excellent. I know I backed him up a lot then. I couldn't get when Rob first came in, and I always say to any young player I work with when I was at the academy, etc. Greeny came in and he came from Norwich in the Champ, and I was at Wolves. I'd been a lot of playing in the Champ, and we were sort of like level, I'd say. So even when he came in, I'm thinking I'm still better than this guy. Still better than him. I was more natural goalkeeper. Roy Carroll was the best out of the lot of us. Roy was the most natural goalkeeper, but he couldn't even see the fucking ball most of the time. He was over there, was it? He couldn't see it. He took it to another level. But it was sort of me and Greeny, and I'm thinking I'll get ahead of Greeny here, to be fair. But to be fair to Rob, he actually, I worked hard in training. I did, but I enjoyed it off it, like we spoke about. Rob came in and actually did everything he could to be the best goalkeeper he could, the best player he could, and he sort of went to new levels. I stayed around about it. Greeny went there, got his England caps, and fucking all we remember how that ended up. but he was, to get to the levels Rob did was incredible, because I thought it was level when he came in. He just went to new levels. I mean, there's one story I talk about which probably sums up the whole difference. And we was in Toronto on a pre-season. And I roomed with Greeny. No one else wanted to room with Greeny. He was a boring bastard. So fucking goalies union, I ended up in the room like, for fuck's sake. And he tried to like give the big words to me like, ball off, mate. But he was a good lad. He was a good lad. He just didn't get involved. Like I said, he did everything he could to be the best goalkeeper he could be. I was going the opposite. Toronto was the perfect example of it. So I'm moving with Greeny. We've had a team night out. Rob's back in the room early. I've stayed out. I've bowled in at about 6 in the morning. Probably a bit early for me, to be honest. 6 in the morning, and I've got the key card trying to get in the door. My head's against the door, I'm fucking swaying. I can't see the fucking hole to stick it in, storing my life. I'm sticking it in the hole, trying to get it, it's fucking going nowhere near it. And from inside, the fucking door's opened, and I've just gone fucking straight through. And I've looked up at the other goalie, 6 in the morning with his weightlifting gloves, going down for his first session of the day. And I'm just fucking bowled in doing whatever, and I've looked up and I went, tells a fucking story, this kid. So that's something, but Greeny was brilliant that year. Brilliant.
Now look, we're going to have a little 10-minute, 15-minute break now. It's been lovely going down memory lane with you two. We could talk to you all night. Second half, it's over to this lot. They can ask you whatever you want. You know, Jim, Paul, don't panic.
I'm alright.
Can I just say, has anyone read the book? Apart from you can ask questions. No one read the book? Thank fuck for that.
So yeah,
Have you read the book?
I've read it, mate.
Come and get yourself a copy at half time. If you haven't read it, come and get yourself a copy. There's plenty here, we've got a box of them here. Come and get yourself a copy. Get it signed and get it read. Thank you very much for the first half. We'll be back in the second half. Thank you.
Yes. I need a baptism.
Well done, lads.
You need them on?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Konchesky and Jimmy Walker.
He ain't fucking moving, look.
Right. We are going to be going out into the crowd any minute now, so I hope you've been getting your questions ready for the boys. But quickly, before we do that, I just wanted to quickly touch on the current squad. Oh no, it's been a good night, so I know. But there is one thing I want to say, it's a bit of a positive. Jim, as a goalkeeper, Lucas Fabianski is obviously leaving the club. You've obviously played with some great goalkeepers, Robbie Green, you yourself was a good goalkeeper, Shaka was in there. Where do you rank Lucas up in West Ham folklore? Ludo, obviously, you knew. He's got to be up there, isn't he, surely?
Listen, I'm going to be honest, firstly, he's an unbelievable guy. Lovely, lovely guy. What a nice, just so calm, on flat ball. That's how he's played for me. He's been an excellent servant for West Ham. And I'll be honest, I remember Parksy, I obviously remember Ludo, outstanding goalkeepers, and rightly probably top of the tree. You talk about Shaka, Rob underneath that, Green underneath that. I think Fabs has got to be above them for me. I think he pushes Parksy and Ludo for me. I think he's been excellent to the club and a real top guy and a very, very good goalkeeper.
I bet he would have fucking passed that ball to the fucking
I said earlier, I presented Ariola with the save of the season on after the game Saturday when no one stayed to see, so you wouldn't have seen it. And to be fair, I couldn't even look at him.
That's one thing that I thought disappointed me with Potter on, that he didn't let Fabianski have that last game.
Should have played last game.
We said that earlier, 100%. Just he's as good a goalkeeper as Ariola, if not better, to be fair, even at his age now. So you're not costing yourself anything. You'd probably fucking won the game if you'd have played anyway. Would you
have kept him? I mean, he hasn't been brilliant, Ariola, this year. I think he's been quite poor, to be honest. Would you have kept him on?
I'm totally honest.
Take him off at the end.
I would have probably kept Fabianski as number 2 and sold Ariola and brought someone else in. I don't know. Listen, I see bits in Ariola, I really do. I just don't think he's consistent enough. He'll do something brilliant 1 minute and then the next minute. I watched it. I went to Spurs away and we started off so well, and it was a brilliant experience like, with the fans at Spurs. It was excellent. But and Ariola made an unbelievable save, low down from a deflection, and I'm thinking only he can make that save out of everyone at West Ham. It was an unbelievable save. And then the next thing, he got the ball, had a touch and pinged it out of play. And I went, and then from that moment his game went down there, and I thought, and obviously we struggled after that, and I thought, so he is a top keeper, he makes top saves, and he's not a kid anymore. So he's not like he's 22, 23, you can probably learn from
that's
him.
it,
what he is, isn't he? So I don't know what the answer is.
And Conch, as watching him as a fan, what have you made of this season? I mean, managers all over the shop, the players all over the shop. The players don't want to.
I'm just going to fucking talk about the live.
The camera's off now, by the way. We're going to switch the camera off, so I'll say as you see.
I think it's been disappointing. I'm talking as a fan. I think as a fan you want to see attacking football, creating chances. Listen, we know we have to keep out the net, but it takes us 50 minutes to get up to the other end. So we ain't got players like Pep Guardiola can manipulate to play that way. We're not them. I think West Ham fans, being a fan and playing for the club, we know what we want. We know what we are. We know what we want. We want to see exciting, attacking, hard, running around people that run around for the football club. I'm not sure we've got that. I'm really not. I think Kudus is a fantastic footballer when he wants to, but that's not good enough for West Ham people, and that's a fan talking, because his ability is second to none, and he probably could go and play anywhere, but his attitude, for me, is not what West Ham people want to see.
I mean, we're lucky enough to do the ambassador stuff now. Obviously you deserve it, I probably don't really. I get to wear a nice suit and talk shit about it. But to go back, like when we're on the stage and we say all the time when we do the talks, come on today, start on the front foot, get the crowd up with you get the crowd lifted to start with, play forward, say it every week, don't we? And then every week it goes fucking Mavra Panas, how to play, fucking to the front. It don't, I know there's a way of playing football, and it's nice to watch if it works at times, but fuck me, it's dull.
But you look at Bowen and you look at Kudos, our attacking threat is frightening, but it ain't getting put to the pitch.
Yeah, it's not big.
Bowen, for me, if someone come in for him, I think he'll go. I think he's
that good.
He's probably the only one you
can
keep
play the
as
top. But West Ham fans, I'd like to see him stay.
Fucking marching planner will be marching him back to fucking the stadium. You ain't letting him go anywhere. That's what I said, marching planner. He'll be marching planner.
Definitely won't.
It has been a difficult season, but what are your thoughts on Potter and going into next season? Like, obviously, because Potter's come in, he hasn't really had he couldn't really get anyone in the transfer window. Do you think he's good enough next season? Would you give him a chance next season?
I know you're looking at me, Ryan, but I'm more about Sweden stories. So if you want to look at
I'm just warming them up. What I was going to say is Potter in Sweden.
they need a pre-season in Sweden. Like, and they'll fucking hit the ground running.
I'm probably big. I think he needs a transfer window. But from the outside, I hear we're not got no money. So what happens there?
Well, we was talking about this the other day on our show. So, in January, we were meant to have bid £60 million for Duran. Where the fuck's that gone?
Well, no, because they knew someone was going to bid more.
The thing is, we got it wrong. Sullivan actually bid 60 quid on a Duran album on eBay. That was what he fucking done.
And he lost.
That's what he told Wexford anyway. Wexford transferred it to us as 60 million for Duran.
Look, Jim, Sweden. Talk to us about Sweden or Dubai.
Well, again,
Or both.
Oh, do you want both?
Yeah,
go on.
yeah.
Listen, anyone who's read the book, who's bought the book, you go for a fucking There you go, there you go.
Heaviest book I've ever fucking bought.
He's heavy.
He's got more chapters than fucking West Ham appearances in that fucking book.
You know what? I did a night. And you all know Tony Gale. Tony Gale's a funny He said, I won't cane you, Jim. I won't cane you. I'll plug the book for you, so I won't cane you. And that's the first thing he said. Oh, come on, he went. And when Jimmy Walker's book's on, 12 chapters, one for every fucking game you play. And they're fucking good chapters though, like the game to work.
What we'll do before we go in the crowd and let them ask you, let them take over. Jim, Sweden. Come on, we want the Sweden story.
It's too long. We ain't got to.
Let me start it right. So it's the pre-season. I signed for the football club. Signed in June or July. End up going pre-season. Went to Sweden. So Pars was like, we go here 10 days, was it? It's a fucking long time. We get to Sweden, we land, we get to the hotel, we're fucking in the middle of nowhere. Lads are like, fucking, what is this? This is shit, what are we going to do here? 10 days here. Went training, come back, fucking tents up. This is a beer festival. That is the last time I think we see the lads together.
We've literally gone from the first year I was here, went to Gothenburg. Next year was Stockholm. The best times of my life. Fuck, if you've never been, go. But then Pars was like, you can see him right, fuck this. Like, the camera phones are starting to come out. The press is on us a little bit more now. He took us to where Konchesky, and it was the quietest place in the world.
Horrible.
So Pars is fucking like that at dinner. He's buzzing. Trained for a couple of days. Nothing, was there?
Nah, fuck off.
It was a lovely hotel. It overlooked the river, and there was a big cobbled street in front of it. And we're like, well, it's lovely, but boring as fuck. We came back from training one day, and all the tents are being erected. And we're like, what's going on here? And it was the biggest beer festival in the whole of Sweden. So basically, we didn't go to Gothenburg or Stockholm. They came to us. We had a fucking room above it. Past that, oh, for fuck's sake.
On that though, who was the main person?
Art.
Pars was the main man.
Just make sure you're up for training in the morning, lads. That's what we got.
That was his rules, wasn't it? Just
Wives.
no women back to the hotel, and no.
Make sure you
and
train.
make sure time for training in a fit state. And I'm gonna be honest, I probably broke all three every night.
Right. Who's got a question with the boys then? Who's the first? No one? Well, one question. Andy.
Come on, Andy.
He'll get the ball rolling. Start with any questions. You've had over an hour to think with them. Right, Andy. Who's it for?
On the scales to break through this season, if you could give him one bit of advice, what would you give him?
That's a good question, that one,
Listen, I love Ollie. I'm not sure he's a left back. I'm going to be really honest with you lot, guy. I've worked with him. Very talented footballer. But for me, it's quite hard because I think if I say the ball watch as a young kid, I think he still does that. So when the ball's on the opposite side for him, he don't know where the winger is, where he's running. He needs help. I like him when he plays with Konchesky because I think Konchesky's obviously left the club, but I think Konchesky really helps him. But he's a fantastic footballer. I just think he needs to learn the role and his trade if he's going to be a left back. And I'm not sure he's going to be good enough to play at left back for West Ham.
Do you think he got a little bit of a rude awakening against Salah? Because that was the game he hadn't played since.
I think it was before that. He was leading up, and I've said to Jim before, I don't think I'll play on it today. He needs to come out to learn and then go back in. I think when it's all high, the managers keep playing and playing and playing. Sometimes it's good enough to bring him out. Bring him out, he's going to learn, and then he can go back in. But I think the Salah one is probably in people's heads now. He didn't know where he was. He was like a rabbit in headlights. Because I'm not sure he's a left back, and I think he needs nurturing if he's going to be that. If he's going to be that player.
Where do you see him?
I like him as a wing back, but I think he's probably going to be more like a left-sided midfielder, not a winger, but a midfielder. Because I know he can play inside, but more of a left midfielder.
Fair? Question? Anyone? Yeah.
To both of you guys, who was the opponent you hated the most? Either personally or to play against?
I mean, I'll start because mine's a little bit shitter than yours. I mean, I fucking hated Jamie Curtin and that fucking charity. Dirty bastard. You don't even know him. I don't know, I didn't really have a person I really disliked playing against. Listen, played against some great players, there's some good players out there. There weren't many that I thought scored against me regular, but that's probably Conch will count that by saying that's because I didn't fucking play. Before he says
it. It's a really good question because I get that quite a lot. So, because I was a left back, I always put up against my winger. So, for me, it was Ronaldo.
fucking told me.
But listen, he was quite young when he played at Man United, but he was no different to what he is now. He's just more stronger and powerful. But he could go left, right, he could jump, and he wasn't a lazy fucker. Like people think he used to work hard, and to be fair, that's probably Fergie because he wouldn't let him be lazy. But it was under him. Always had a good and he probably hates this guy because he played with him at West Ham. I left, but Lundberg, me and him always had a good battle.
He was
I used
fucking
to.
you. The quickest I see him move was with the fucking wheelbarrow about 2 million when he left West Ham. See you lads.
Nah, but to your question, he probably Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, it was always fucking hell, it's him again. If it weren't him, it was Nanny on the other side, and they used to swap over. So them two was like fucking nightmare for me.
Also, last one, what was it like having to sing The Greatest from Green Town over at Bedouki?
Oh, yes. That's the
But if
question.
you get that up, I didn't really sing it, so
I think you should give us a rendition.
I think so.
You know, I always shit on you for that.
if you've got him here for fucking qualities, you don't come knows where he is.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yeah? I'll come
Nick, I'll go.
Yeah.
To be honest, he fucked that because I did want to know the whole Glenn Taplin sort of circus at Billericay. I still want you to expand a bit more on that, and also I want Jimmy to expand on the Savio story.
Oh, it's a lot more.
It's been filmed. It's off. Alright, I started because it weren't that bad, but yeah. No, I can't. You go.
So what extent do you want me to go to? But listen, Glenn,
Just to because
bless his heart, he was really good with me, and I think the ex-players that went there he was really good with. I think what he done for the football club was phenomenal. What they've got now, and that's all probably down to him. Did he have a clue about football? Probably not. No, he had a lot of money. I think he thinks he could have got the team into the football league, but that's just trying to throw money at, and people was just coming for the money. So with Glenn, he was really tough because his son was a really good footballer, and he plays at Chelmsford now. But he probably could have gone a bit further, but down to his dad that people got rumours of what his dad was and what he is and how he treated people. So the stuff you see on Twitter and things like that, he's like that to your face. But he was really good with me, so it's really hard for me to say anything bad to Glenn, because Glenn was really good with me and the ex-players that he took to the football club.
That is the most professional football answer I've ever heard.
They give me a lot of money though.
You think the world's greatest for that fucking cash, wouldn't you? I had my eyes closed and everything.
Jimmy, you're known as a bit of a clown. And a bit of a joker.
That's chapter 14.
Okay, what's the best prank that you've witnessed being pulled? Either can answer, to be fair. And what's the shittest one?
Well, the shittest one probably involves shitting. Do you know what? I mean, I don't know why it comes to it, and I don't know how I'm going to tell this, so bear with me. But it was what we was in the resis up again. Obviously, before he says I was in the resis a lot. But we had a game up north. There was some great young lads in the reserve team at the time. The reserve team was good. We travelled to Middlesbrough from Chadwell. So we obviously trained Chadwell. Met at the Marriott at Waltham Abbey. Got the bus there. Left the cars there. Travelled to Middlesbrough for a reserve game. Really good game. Nobes on the bus. Jack Collison, James Tompkins. There was a couple of other young lads in it, a couple of older statesmen, they were all like myself, can't remember the rest, but and there was a lad called Lorcan, Irish fella, lovely little guy. So we're on the way up, and he's having a bit of banter, and he's only a kid, and he's got the phone up, and he's checking away, he's going, and he's showing us all the messages he's getting off this bird. It was decent, to be fair, to be honest. Pictures were good. I'm like, wait, no, I've got a game to fucking prepare for it. Let's have a quick look. Alright, send me that. So he's showing me on the way up, and he's showing me messages and pictures getting sent, and he's sending them back, and I'm like, brilliant. So we played the game. Well, again, we're on the way back. It's a fucking long journey from Middlesbrough. We talked it 4 or 5 hour. So we're on there. We're a little bit bored at the back, and we thought, let's have a bit of fun. So we've gone there. We've gone right, and we got. So Mr. Lorcan didn't have my number. So we said, we got Nose involved, Jack Collison involved, Tom's involved, and we said, right, just let's go with this. And anyway, long story short, I ended up texting Lorcan off the phone. No, in fact, Jack Collison got me his number, put me in his phone, and I've texted him, I've gone, what the fuck are you doing ringing my missus? Who the fuck are you? So I'm texting him on this, and he's coming through to him, and he's going, I know you're texting my missus. I know I've seen, I've got her phone, and you're sending pictures to missus and all that, and he's going. So he started to look around and show Jack and all that. Jack's put me in his phone already. So Jack is looking at the phone going like that. So he's gone, carried it on all the way down for about 2 hours down the A1. And in the end, he's gone like, come up the back and gone. I think I went a little bit too far when I went, right, I've just found out who you are. I know you play for West Ham. I'm fucking waiting for you at Waltham Abbey when you get back. And I can see this kid's face just fucking drop. So this sort of Jack Thompson's in it, Nobes's in it, and they're all going, just go and ask the old lads at the back like what they think. I'm fucking all texting. He's come at the back, I'm like, and I try to keep a straight face again. He's going, Jim, what do you think I should do? Oh God, mate, you're fucked. If they're waiting at Waltham Abbey by the time you get back, you're in all sorts of trouble. Like if it kicks off, like the club get wind of it, oh mate, you've been a paper as well, you finish. I was 17, finished before it starts. Finish. You better go and have a word with Kev Keane down the bottom. He didn't know we'd already prepped Kev Keane before, he was a reserve manager at the time. So he's gone down to see Kev Keane and do you remember Andy Walker? I don't know if he was here, but he was the physio as well. So we've prepped them already, so gone down to Kev Keane. I mean, things you do when you've got a 5-hour journey, just gone down to Kev Keane, and Kev Keane's gone, we can't have that, Lorcan. We can't have that, you need to sort this, because if they're there when you get off the bus, you'll be sacked there and then you're finished. So the kid's sweating now, bless his Scott, absolutely sweating. He's gone, so we're about half an hour from Waltham Abbey. He's like, well, what do I do? What do I do? And so we've got him, we said, like, the only thing we can do is they can't see you off the bus. Because if they're waiting for you, all sorts going off. So what we'll do is stop. We actually stopped on the M25 at 2 in the morning. We got the boot skip from the bottom of the bus, chucked all the boots out and put the boot skip on the bus at the front of it. The only way out of this is you get in the boot skip. We wheel you off and go, don't know who he is, mate, to all the mates. So he's got this. We literally didn't think he'd get in. He got in the fucking boot skip. So we pulled into Waltham Abbey, and he's looking out the window. He's looking at. You could just see the lid of the boot skip going up there. Are we there? Oh, fucking on this floor of them, mate. Get your dad, get your dad. We carried him out and just left him in the middle of the Waltham Abbey down there. And he sat there, didn't move for about 5 minutes. This is the days before Instagram. Imagine Instagram, we'd all been there like that. So we're all sat there waiting and nothing happened and we're like that, and you just see the fucking boot skip just pop up every now and again. And these eyes would appear. And until about 10 minutes later, he's just got out and he's gone, you bastard. Yes, never played a game that's finishing like that. He's a good player till then as well.
Got a question here, boys? Guys, look, it's been an amazing evening. We brought in 7 players last year, and apart from some who I've never heard of any of them, it's been a disappointing season to say the least. How can we turn that round this year? Potter, I'm not going to judge Potter until this season.
I will.
Have we got the purse strings, etc.? What do you reckon, guys?
That's sensible to you.
I'm a bit like you. I think Potter needs his own transfer window. But I think, for me, I'd like to see a couple of the younger lads in the team.
Do you think we should have 10 12 games already for me? We say that every week, don't we?
Yeah, and people like Lewis Alford, we obviously know what Lewis is like. If you remember Michael Carrick at West Ham, Lewis Alford's like Michael Carrick. So for me, I think young players need to play. I think they know what West Ham is and what it means to people. They're West Ham boys.
Great for the fans as well,
West Ham fans.
Yeah, and they're West Ham kids. But it'd be interesting to see what he does transfer window wise, who he sells, who he brings in. Well, we'll find that soon. But I'm like you. I think he needs his own window.
Is Kudos going to be offloaded?
I'd
He
say
needs to be honest.
try a fucking leg for 6 months.
I think he needs to be.
If you get 80 90 mil for him, I would sell him all day, 100%.
Carrying £125 million. Saudi, I'll try and do yourself in it.
I might take him and stay for a couple of weeks. Just test it out, just to see if he's alright out there. I need a wing myself. Tax free, you say? Your books will be flying off the shelf. 25 quid out now.
Have you got any more questions, guys?
Potsy will get a go.
Any more at all? Yeah.
There's one down
Hope so.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Jimmy, who?
realistically, who would you bring in as a new goalkeeper for us?
Oh.
Like a realistic, like not Edison, or something, like a realistic.
He don't know goalies, mate. He's fucking lying. When he talks about goalies, he's fucking lying, by the way.
Can I just say? I said to the lads earlier at the bar, so Conch was the women's manager for a year. I went and actually helped him out with the goalkeepers.
It's got to be a mistake couldn't do any worse.
Well, the assistant manager left, and Conch said to me, would you like to be assistant manager to me? And my reaction was, me and you in charge of 50 birds. What the fuck could go wrong? So I moved away from the goalkeepers, and it was a goalkeepers union I was in before. But then after turning to assistant manager, I go, what the fuck is that goalie doing? So I was out of the equation for the goalkeepers, so I don't know any goalies anymore. It's the truth.
What about, and Jim, if you say yes, we're going to fall out, mate.
Joe Hart.
Ramsdale.
He's stuck everything down, by the way.
Do you not fancy Ramsdale?
No.
So, do you know, if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I probably said it'd be a good signing, but I think it's like, for me it's a little bit like a boxer. You know, if you get knocked out really badly, you're never quite the same. After, I don't know about boxing by any stretch of the imagination, but if you get sparked out, you're going to have something in your head all the time that's going to, I think it'd be huge for Ramsdale after the couple of seasons he's had, especially with, you saw with Joe Hart when Pep let him go, and Pep's a fucking lot better manager than Arteta, and that hurt him. So Arteta letting him go, that's hurt, and since then, he's made some great saves. He fucking had to. He's had about 1,000 shots a game against them. But has he got that still the bit to go and take you to? Because listen, let's face it, we loved Europe. Europe was fucking amazing, wasn't it? But that's where we should be, with the stadium, with everything, and that's where we fucking should be. But we're miles off it in a minute. So who's going to take you back there? I don't see Ramsdale having that mentality after what's happened to him. I think he's a good goalie.
He says he can't concentrate for 90 minutes. I mean, that's quite important.
I mean, it's probably not the best thing to say.
He said
I was with him.
next week.
Jim was the same, mate.
I was with him.
He done alright.
I was looking around the crowd for birds. Oh, just on that one. I mean, I'll tell you a story on Stevie Bywater, and I say about concentration. So Stevie Bywater's first ever game. I don't know if you remember it. He come from Rochdale.
I remember it well.
Remember it? And he came on early on for, was it Shaka?
Yeah, Shaka.
So he came on early for Shaka. So you probably you see that and you see the stats. I think we won the game 4-3 or 5-4. So 5-4. So Shaka, so he's coming at 0-0 and he's let 4 in, but just managed to win the game. Steve is a kid. I mentioned earlier he's thick as fuck, right? This sums him up as well. So he's come on, his first game, it's his debut, he's all excited, fucking cheesy grins out and all. And he's looking, and he happened to catch a glimpse of himself on the big screen in the corner. So he's like, oh, you know, looking at himself there. He said, and he tells a fucking story, the idiot. So he's looking at it, and he says, I saw a ball trickling past me. I looked down, oh fuck. And he's dived after it, and fucking realised that one of them the balls went in, he's already dived, and so he's like, shit, fuck, okay. Now, normally you'd swallow it, and you're going at half time, and fucking Harry's in there at half time, going, fucking hell, Stephen, what the fucking hell are you doing, son? Fucking hell, you fucking saving it. So his Bywater's turned back round, and instead of going, yeah, you're right, Gaffer, yeah, it was a bad mistake from me, I don't know what happened. He went, well, what it was, Gaffer, I saw myself on the big screen. Fucking big screen! So yeah, don't bring Bywater in. As good a lad as he was.
So you haven't wrapped up now?
He wouldn't be my first choice.
Who will be?
Trafford.
Trafford's decent.
Who?
Kelleher.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know. I'm a fucking Dartfield coach now. His goal was shit. I just see him keep trying to fucking pass it through there and giving it away and that. Imagine if I'd done that back in my day. Fucking manager screaming, what the fuck are you doing, son? Gel it long. And to be fair, I see Ginger up with James Collins, and he says, right, you was the worst player on the pitch, I was the second worst. Why the fuck is it a good idea to pass it to me?
Anyone else?
Any more questions?
Yeah.
I come to you after, mate, yeah? So, of all the youth players currently in the squad, who do you think we should be most excited for? Who would you keep around next season? Who you think could improve and be a key member of the squad?
Yeah, I think for me, obviously Ollie. I like Ollie. I think Lewis Alford, Freddie Potts, and Callum Marshall. I'd keep Callum about. I think he's got something different that our attacking players have got. He's a bit off the cuff. Callum, he's quick. He runs behind. I
Is
think.
it more skillful than Tony?
I mean, that's not fucking on, is it?
Currently, yes.
Darren's
But to be fair, I mean, I worked with the youth team for a bit, and it was an amazing experience with Kev Keane. Callum was a player, but like him tonight, he's more like a Craig Bellamy.
Yeah.
But he's a nice lad instead of being a Sorry, that's my first thing. But no, I worked with him for a good 6 months, and the quality in there was great. And Lads Conch mentioned, I think the ones who've been out on loan, actually, I would have loved to see like Orford, who stayed there, to come through and play 6 or 7 games. Scholesy played a few games, which is rightly so. Caelan Casey was a good player. I'd like to see him play at least half a dozen games. But I'm saying, so the lads who've been out on loan, Freddie Potts, Georgie Urphy, Callum Marshall, Gideon, they've learned a lot more by going out on loan for me, to be fair. So I think that will stand them in good stead. So if they come back for pre-season, how they will do, with that experience they've got at a good level in the champ, and you know, Potsy's been on 2 loans now. Been at Wickham one player of the year, been at Portsmouth one player of the year. He's going to be a good player. So you're good to go. You've been on your loans, you've done your bits. I think a good pre-season is got to be somewhere near for me. So I'd like to see. Sometimes you'll say, I mean, you know, as well, Conch, if you get 1 or 2 from the academy, it's a real good return. But from this current crop, I think you should get 3 or 4.
But is Potts any worse than the people that are already playing in the midfield?
No, I played him.
You can't say that, can you?
Honestly,
not worse.
I know he's out on loan, so he couldn't play.
No.
But if he's at the club, he's
better than us.
I mean, Lewis Orford was still at the club for me, Conch. You know what you think on it, but
Yeah.
I would have played him miles ahead of Soler, Rodriguez,
Yeah, exactly that.
even Alvarez at times.
Do you think it might be a blessing next season then that we might not have as much money, so some of these players will get a chance?
I think Sullivan might think it's a blessing. And I think Karen Brady might too. Look at that, thank you.
But Potter might end up thinking it's a blessing because they'll be good.
No, I think, listen, Potter's clever, he's got to be a good manager. I'm waiting to see it, but pre-season, if you get the kids, if you get their boys involved, they're not kids anymore, they're ready to go. I think you need to get them involved, definitely. Nick, any more?
One of back is, yeah, I look at what I would consider some of the smaller clubs, like the Brightons, Bournemouths, Palace,
Spurs.
I'm going the second before them. They all seem to be really well-run clubs. I would say like we're a much bigger club than them. They all seem to have an identity and a style of how they want to play, right from top to bottom. They seem really well managed. I don't see that from our owners anymore. Like obviously Moyes, but the fans were divided. He's done a good job for us on paper if you look at it, and you know obviously he's gone. But what are we missing? Is there something from the top down? Like how much longer have Sullivan and Brady got? Is it from top down? Like what's going on? What's your thoughts there?
I'm going to ask you a question. So David Moyes probably most of you wanted him out. Would you take him back now?
Well, that's the thing.
So split.
There's 100%, there's no way he does.
So Everton have gone from second and third from bottom to well above
It's a
us.
different way though. Everton, I think their lower teams played the same style of football as their main team. I'm not sure our younger teams play the same method because we've had so many managers in such a short period of time. Is there a way? You know what I mean? You should play when you get to the under 21s. You should be playing. If you want to be.
So to your question anyway, I think recruitment's massive.
Yeah.
So the recruitment we've had, who's from Lopetegui probably. So some of them players weren't even his. Now you've got another new manager, which ain't his players. So there's always a vicious circle that one manager hasn't got his whole team that he
Then
wants.
you need to get the youngsters.
So
playing
I think it comes from the top and then it has to work down.
Yeah, because sometimes, like, if you look at the ownership, they have invested a lot of money, and sometimes I think, alright, well, they are backing the managers and doing the right thing, but it doesn't seem to be working out.
I think, for me, we're still searching. You know, I think Moisey papered over a lot of cracks. I think what he did was outstanding, and listen, the jury was out, I get that. But what he did in the 3 years Europe was incredible. But he's such a, pragmatic manager. He got results, he knows how to get results. It wasn't the most appealing football to watch, I understand that, but he got results. And it does my nutting when people say, well, you've got to be careful what you wish for. Well, we didn't wish for managers to come in and play the same way, but worse. We play the same as Moyes, you're not going to get the same results. Moyes is a fucking master at playing that way and getting results. So I think we're always happy with the results. It was just we wanted a more refreshing style of player, more attacking football, and I think, look, to be fair to the Lopetegui, it didn't work out, obviously, and he played very similar to Moyes. So I think we're still searching for someone to come in. And listen, I think what Conch says might be right. A window, a summer under Potter, get the window how you want. You've got some great kids in there as well you can bring into the team. If you sign right and really stamps his authority on it, then it could go forward with him. But I think the club have to have that identity and keep it. Listen, the West Ham way for me has always been, you might disagree, I don't know, you've been there, fans a lot longer, but for me the West Ham way was seeing a team go out there, giving fucking everything they've got, running forward, playing forward, and exciting. You look at the players you've had over the years, Devonshire, fucking Brookings, they're unbelievable players. You've got them players now, but there's not a platform for them to flourish. It's just very slow and things. So the West Ham way for me was you leaving everything out on the pitch, and I don't see that every week. So hopefully Pop can get that right, play his brand of football, it becomes exciting.
Then get the youngsters ready to come up. So by getting them ready in the formations he wants to play and the methodology he wants to put.
I mean, to be fair to the 21s, they come second in the league.
Yeah.
The youth team won the Premier League
exactly
there. So the talent's there, just got to come through.
Yeah.
Just one question. The two consecutive Christmas windows, I think it was 6 or 7. Clubs looking for a centre forward. No one was bought. I thought that was the ideal time to crack on. That was, I don't know what happened there. Just don't know what happened there, because we could have been Champions League, then you're another story.
But I think
consecutive Christmases.
That's always the time to kick on for me. That's always the time to sign someone. It's easy if you're down the bottom and you're struggling, you're searching again. But if you're doing really well, yeah, by all means you should be signing. But I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know if there's anyone fit the bill. But to be fair, even this year, I think I know Fulcrook's been injured and Ferguson wasn't quite fit when he came. But for me, I like Fulcrook, what I've seen bits of him. I don't quite understand why he's not been used more.
We have a slow midfield, which
I like the big German.
the German's good.
Yeah, so I think we are searching. We're searching for everything at the minute. Hopefully it gets it right in the summer. And we kick on next year, because we need to get back in fucking Europe.
Yeah.
That ambassador gig in Leon was fucking
It's not the same in South End, is it?
bollocks, mate. I need to go back to Leon's and Frankfurt's and fucking be noisy having a fucking ball. So yeah, hopefully we get to that. There for the questions, yeah?
I think that's it. Is that it, everyone?
Yeah.
Oh, there's one more.
One more.
You said we had a really good. You had a really good team. Playing together. Yeah, in a good squad. Who were the teammates you couldn't fucking stand?
The cameras are off, by the way.
Oscar comes straight into the
He came late, though.
He was actually a lovely lad.
He came late. I'm going to be honest, our group was really fucking good. Like, if there was 20 players, if I said there was 18 out every time we went out, I'm probably missing 2 out, because I think we were a really good group.
Yeah,
Boy went on the missing list sometimes.
Yeah, but he was always out.
Boy was never with us because he didn't know where he was. But we had a good run, didn't we? And even like young Nigel and people like that, Nobes, they was always there, weren't they? There or thereabouts. We had a good. Christian Day was a bit older. He sometimes bored off, but he was alright, wasn't he, Christian?
To be fair, I always remember Greeny going home early. And I'd be going, that's fucking why I should be playing your brother. We had a good group. From my first in the champ, obviously 2004, when I first came in, it could have been a sort of not a great change room, because there was Kevin Horlock, all great lads by the way, I'm not caning these guys, but Kev Horlock, Dave Connolly, Mickey Carrick, do you know, there's some lads on big money that, and Pards had said to him, we've got to get you out. And in that list was Stevie Lomas, Don Hutchinson, Christian Daly. Okay, the first lads I mentioned, they all went and got their moves and paid up. But Lomi and Don Hutch was around it still. They couldn't go anywhere. But Pards was really clever. He knew the lads were good lads. Because the change room was so good, they sort of went with it. I mean, Lomi was outstanding. Probably didn't play as much as you want that year. But for that experience to be in that change room, and even Don Hutch was a good player, probably wasn't going to play. And his Pards had told him, you're not going to play. He's on big money, couldn't get him out. But these guys sort of bought into what we was, the new group that came in. And it was such a good group that they was with us, and they went with it, and they didn't play as much, but in the change room it was outstanding.
Where'd you go out?
No, but on that one, we had to go out.
Everywhere.
We had Ted. Ted, he took us everywhere. So everywhere Ted went, the lads was there.
Where'd you go?
I never forget this. We went to 195. It was
I never
Miss England, and he took Miss England home, and that was that. So we had the best time ever.
And to be fair, he played me with number 2, so it wasn't. Number 2. I can't take number 2 from Terry. So to be fair, he's asking where we went. So Monday was West End. Tuesday was fucking Brothers. Wednesday was fucking West End. Boys, we just keep it down. We're nearly finished now. So yeah, we had a good time. We was at that ilk, and probably the last generation, I'd say, that worked really hard. The lads worked hard. I'm not taking anything away from them. We worked really hard, but we fucking played hard ourselves. And I think that worked for us on the pitch at the time. I don't think you get away with that by any stretch of the imagination nowadays. You wouldn't get away with it from the media side of things, but I think fitness-wise as well, it'd probably catch you up.
So the West Ham boys were good. Who did you not like at Spurs?
All of them.
Do you know when I had a good group there, to be fair, and there was one player, you probably heard of him, it was young lad, he was only young at the time, from Inter Milan, Stefan Dalmat. He was an arrogant fucker. Like, he thought he was the best, and he got brought off once, got his chains, got home, went home back to it, and never seen him ever again. It was crazy.
Was he worse than Bellamy?
I don't mind Bellamy.
Was Bellamy a nightmare?
Bellamy was a nightmare. An absolute nightmare, but a great lad. Honestly, he was such a good lad. I loved him. He had a thing. So obviously himself, Rob Green, he's an established England international by this stage. A couple of young lads with us. We train every day. Ludo's take us out the way there. We train, and then Curbs would call us over for the five-a-side or the small-sided games or whatever. And as we're walking over, even Greeny's going, please take fucking Bellas' team, Jim. Don't go on Bellas'. Because Bellas was fucking, he hated goalies. And he was a nightmare. He was the most opinionated man I've ever met. But to be fair to him, back to the upside, go, I'll take Bellas' team, no problem.
Was he good?
Oh, he was a good player. He was a good player. So we're walking, I'd take his team on a five-a-side. And he wouldn't have a go at me so much, but we had one small-sided game. And to be fair to you, I got the ball, And I looked at him, he was probably on, but I chose different, and I went there, went safe. Fucking, he opened up on me. Fucking open your eyes. You shouldn't even be on the same pitch as me. Fucking wrong with you. Don't fucking look forward. Fucking go down. Your best player on the pitch. Fucking play at me. And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Next time I got the ball, Bella's open. Fuck off. He went on for about 20 minutes, had the ball about 10 times, and he was open at least 8 of them. I'm like, fuck you. So I give you by this time the steam's fucking going out. He's fucking raging. So I've got the ball next time, and he's fucking bit marked this time. I've looked at him, he's not even called for it. I've fucking bowled it at him like flint off wood. He's gone down there with a bit of swaz. He's bounced off his knee and got out of it. That's why I don't give it you, because you're a shit, you overrated cunt. And he's like, I'll kill you. And a young lad behind the goal was fucking in, running over to me, the lads are jumping in, I'm like, that's fine. The young lad by us, I looked over to him, he's fucking shaking, I went, goal is Union, son. But he was a great lad, fellas, he was a fucking great lad.
Didn't go around the golf with him after, I guess. Didn't go around the golf with him after. What?
No, but look, it's been an unbelievable evening tonight. It's great to have you both here. No, we've been lucky enough doing our channel that we've worked with you a lot over the last few years, and honestly, you two are brilliant, and I was so excited to have you here tonight because the stories, and it's been great, and we've got some great memories, like, as I said, not only as players, but getting to know you over the years, and obviously, we spent some time in Rome together, not just me and you, it was fucking other people.
It was just them two. It was just them two.
What happens in Rome?
I caught them having a spaghetti together.
And then, obviously, Jimmy, we've had, obviously Ian that was here, E13 events. We've been to a few events in Romford and we've had some great nights out. And I remember one night Jimmy went, should we go out for a drink after? I said, fuck off, Jimmy. He went, no, let's go out. So we went, has anyone been Romford lately? It is fucking dead. We ended up, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, we ended up in some bar called Jukebox. Oh, yeah. So we walked in and I looked around and I thought, we're too old for this, Jim. Speak for yourself. We are too old. And I went to the bar, I'm apologising, I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, why have we brought him here? I turned round and Jimmy was on the fucking dance floor saying, this is the best fucking night. I turned around and went, 4 shots, love. But no, seriously, it's
let me add on to that story, right? Every time we go to Romford, he wants to go fucking back there. That's the fucking problem.
But the one thing Jimmy can't handle is that, one thing you can't handle about nights out in Romford is that I went out for a night with Keith Robson after an event, and that geezer was a fucking animal, and he could not handle it. He was unreal, but
You actually said he did more birds than me. I was fucking furious. Fucking 85 the geezer.
It was the accent. It was the Geordie accent. But no, listen, it's been a pleasure to get to know you over the years. But anything you want to say to the fans before we wrap up tonight?
No, obviously thank you for coming out and inviting us over. Stick with us. I'm a West Ham fan, lunatic. We will get there in the end.
Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. Well, listen, again, reiterate that to Nick and Ryan. Fantastic guys. Love everything we do together. We love watching what you do as well. And to you guys out there as well, thank you for coming. It's a family for me. I fell in love with West Ham by playing through it. Conch grew up loving the club as well, and then had his dream playing for it. It means so much for us to come back and share things with you now as well. And please, just if you do read the book, only God can judge.
Konchesky and Jimmy Woodbury, thank you very much. Let's have one last verse. And then we'll go out.